ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Between Two Hats with your hosts, Patrick Osman and Philip Burton. Today, we are blessed with another guest, Blake from FilterTime, the CEO and founder or co-founder, Blake?
Founder. Yeah.
Founder of FilterTime. This guy's a hoot, and we're going to have an absolute blast of a podcast. Phil, you had no clue about what I brought to the table today, but your mind's going to blow. This guy services the property management industry by delivering filters. And on top of that, he's been a NASCAR driver for 9 years.
What?
Welcome, Blake Koch, to Between Two Hats.
Well, thanks for having me.
Blake.
Yeah, I've seen you guys on LinkedIn with your podcast, and I was like, oh man, when you told me about it, I was like, I can't wait to get on here and talk to these guys.
This is fantastic. First of all, the NASCAR thing, if I had that on my resume, I'd be wearing a shirt that says I drive NASCAR, because I'm that vain and I need the attention. And it'd just be an arrow pointing down here. Yeah, that's big
funny.
too. Everything's big around here. Come
Well,
on,
like,
buddy. That's so cool.
Branded at all times is pretty much like a NASCAR driver. That's your job, is to just wear logos all over the place, and I can't get away from that.
Oh God, that's so funny. We should start at these shows selling space on our jackets like you do on NASCAR. Everything, every area.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's so good.
And who was the driver who had the most expensive real estate in the world on his helmet?
I have no idea. Oh, I think Lewis Hamilton. That was in
Was it Lewis Hamilton?
right in F1 in Formula One.
It was an F1 driver.
I think
don't know if it was Lewis
I
Hamilton.
thought it was Lewis. It might not be. I thought it was Lewis Hamilton. It was like Mercedes or something.
Let's quickly fact check and see, because I know that there was one. Who was it?
I think
It was
race
Lewis
car
Hamilton.
drivers, whether it's
Oh,
F1 or
my
NASCAR
God.
combined,
Lewis Hamilton. He got it right. 57 million
amazing.
bucks.
for a space on his helmet.
No, 1 second. No. No, it wasn't 57 million bucks. I'll get the price, but it was Lewis Hamilton. I'll gotta double check the price. But
That's
it was
amazing.
on the top of his just on top of his eyes.
Yeah, I got like $5,000 for on top of my eyes. But
Yeah. Pat has companies pay him not to put their logo out. Like, please don't associate you with our brand. We'll pay you. Do not eat or drink our
Yeah.
products on your podcast, and we'll pay you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just
So
trying.
the-
I'm
so
still
the
trying to hit
car-
up Disney for a deal.
The car driver thing is really cool. And I think it's still true to today, but they're the highest paid athletes in the world, right? I think race car drivers are number one still.
I think for
And it
Formula One,
includes
yeah.
F1, NASCAR.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, what people don't know, and I want you to go into this though, because I drove, I did some driving with those setup deals like Porsche and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's physically exerting. You are muscling that car around. And I don't think people realize that what it does to your body, and especially long races, NASCAR too. I mean, you're getting beaten up in there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't really compare it to like, football and basketball and other of those kind of sports as far as like how much
Contact.
fitness you need to have. But like what it's such a long period of time. Like I've been in a race for 6 hours before, and it could be 150 degrees in your car. Like the heat is the big thing. Yeah, it's so hot.
Crazy.
And you're wearing this fireproof suit that does not breathe. So it's just that's the biggest hurdle, is the heat in those cars.
So how much? Okay, let's talk about a 6-hour race, right? Obviously, adrenaline is a byproduct of your outfit, right?
Yeah.
When you're driving
Yep.
and you're racing. How long do you think your adrenaline's running before at some point in the race you're comfortable and your adrenaline's decreased? No?
No, back when I raced mainly in the Xfinity series, and our races were 3 hours, right? 2.5, 3 hours long. And my average heart rate would be 140 average. The lowest it would ever get is like 120 in the car. So it's just because you're constantly, if you ever relax, you're going slow, right? So like every
Yeah.
single corner, you're just trying not to wreck. It's like right at the limit of the tire and of the car. And then you have somebody behind you trying to get you sideways, and it's just constant adrenaline. It never goes away. Maybe at like Daytona if you lose the draft and you're all by yourself, it'd be like, all
You're
right,
like,
this
just
kind of sucks. Yeah.
turn the radio on, grab a smoke, just hey
Yeah.
guys, yeah,
Grab a
here's, you know,
smoke.
yeah, this is going well, yeah.
That's happened to me before. I've lost a draft at Daytona and I'm like, you're starting to hear things. My legs going to sleep. It's like this.
This sucks, but I'm still, but when I jump out of this car, I'm still wearing a cool suit, and I'm a race car driver.
Yeah. Well, usually there's a caution, you get group backed up and you have a shot to go
Yeah.
win still, but there's some moments that are boring. Yeah.
So were you into the go-kart? Like, tell us how that started, because I know
Yeah,
people
that's
don't
such a
know how you,
story.
like, how do you just get into race car driving? You don't just suddenly wake up and go, I want to drive a car, unless you're like Michael Jordan or somebody like that buys into a team. But tell us your story there.
Yeah, my story's completely different than anybody else I've heard in NASCAR. Normally, you would start racing go-karts at 5 years old, 6 years old, go throughout the ranks, winning races, championships, and make it to NASCAR. I I raced dirt bikes growing up, like motocross, and my dream
Oh,
was to be a supercross racer. And I just wasn't good enough. And I quit racing dirt bikes at 18, went to college for marketing, and after college, I got the opportunity to drive this race car in Florida. My stepdad wanted to buy a race car, just like a Saturday night short track thing. And I was 20 years old and I was like, sure. And I drove it. And that was a time in my life where you're trying to figure out what you want to do. Right. And I was like, well, I drove this race car. It was fun. I'm watching people on TV do this and make a lot of money. And that sounds a lot better than going to work after college.
right.
So I was like, man, this is awesome. Like I'm having a blast. You wreck and doesn't hurt. Dirt bikes, you wreck and you're destroyed, broken, everything. And it came pretty natural to me. I don't want to say it was easy, but it came really natural. And I was like, well, if those guys can do it, I can do it. So I just started calling. After about 5 races in my life at 20, I started calling all these NASCAR teams like, hey, I'm your next guy. Just give me a shot. And they're like, well, how many
You just
races
don't
have you
know it
won?
yet, but I'm the next big thing.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah, pretty much, and I'd call them every week, all of them. And finally, there was a team that called me back, Richard Childress Racing. I called them enough that they called me back, and they're like, "Hey, Mike, we have an open race in our development series in California in October. Like, why don't you come run our backup car?" And I was like, "Perfect." And this is the only shot you get. You know what I mean? It's your one
Yeah.
shot. And I flew out there. I think it was October of 2008. And I got in the car. I've never even been in before. I never even drove a stick shift car before. And I got in. I was like, oh gosh. And I literally
Whoa.
qualified fourth, and I out qualified their
One
primary
second.
driver. Yeah.
One second. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Back up, back up. Are you legitimate when you said you haven't driven a stick shift car before this race?
That week we rented a BMW from like Avis that had a stick shift, and
Okay.
I drove it. Like my dad taught me how
Okay.
to drive it. But
Okay.
like when I got in there, there was no
Because
nut.
imagine you started imagine you started and you
Well,
stole that straight
pretty
away.
pretty much like a BMW to a NASCAR. Like the first thing I did
Oh,
was I got in
yeah.
the car and I looked at the ball, like the shipping ball, and there was no numbers on it. I was like, "Well, where's reverse?"
It's just fast and faster. Yeah.
It was crazy. And then if you've driven stick, you can imagine this, but I'm pulling up to the track and it's kind of uphill, and the official
Oh
Oh
stops
no.
God.
me, and I was like, "Oh
Oh
no!" And then I
no.
have I didn't know what to do with my feet. I was like, all right, my foot on the clutch, my other foot on the brake. How do I switch them over without hitting the car behind me? And I just switched it fast and did this like burnout. And they actually yelled at me for doing a burnout next to the official, but I didn't mean to. It's not like I was mad. I
Oh, how
just didn't know what I
funny.
was doing.
Yeah. You're lucky I didn't kill you, fella. You burnout
Yeah,
is the best you got.
that was the most nervous I
What?
was. The whole experience was that moment of using stick, using the stick. But I ended up doing really well, and to like I actually got a 2-year development deal out of that shot. I beat their guy that they had and signed a development deal with Richard Childress Racing.
Wow.
How much what's the ratio of driving to engine
I would put
ability to win?
I
Is
would
it a
put
70
engine
30?
in
Is it a
just a
50
car,
50?
like the capability of the car, because you have to have it all. You have to have the body, the people working on it, the engine, the tire. You have to have it all. You have to have both. You can't be the best driver in the world and get in a bad car and go fast. You just can't. And then if you have the fastest car out there, you have to be pretty good. But
Yeah.
however you can articulate this, a bad driver can do pretty good in a really fast race car. A great driver cannot do good in a really bad race car.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's
Got it.
interesting. Yeah, the technology has come so far too, going back from the days of, the old NASCAR stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah.
And you get in this car, you're it's foreign to you. It's your first big race. You know what's on the line and you nail it. Like you just show up and say, I got this.
Yeah.
And can you remember that feeling? Like when you think about it today, do you remember what it felt like to be in that car for the first time?
I do, but I I knew I could do it. Like, I had a lot of confidence that I could go beat all
That's
those guys
awesome.
because I've never looked at people and be like, "Well, they're better than me." And, like, if the only reason they're better than me is because they have maybe more experience, right? So, if I did enough studying and work and put enough effort into it, and most people in the world don't work as hard as they could, right? So, I always
Sure.
believed I could outwork people. And so, when you have that mentality and you do outwork people, you can show up with the confidence to win, and that's in racing, and that's in business, and that's in everything, right? So I left almost probably disappointed because I felt like I should have qualified on the pole and won the race, and the race didn't go that well, but the team saw something in me that made them be like, "We need this guy." But in my mind, I left and it was like, "Oh, that was cool. I get to tell my kids
Yeah,
one day
that
that I
was fun.
raced in a NASCAR race." You know what I mean? Yeah.
Wow.
So that was the start of your career, and then from there, what, you got a second call? Did you apply for another race, or
Yeah, no,
did
or
you buy
about 2
your own
weeks.
NASCAR? Like, what happened?
Yeah, 2 weeks. So this is the development series. This would be like AAA baseball. So I got a call and it was like, "Hey, we have we want to sign you next year." We came up with sponsorship, worked together with the team, and I ran the whole next year in that series. It was called the NASCAR Camping World West Series. I ran out in Arizona, California, Oregon, and ran that series. And then the next year I got into the second highest level of NASCAR, which is called the Xfinity Series. And I made my start in there and just stayed in that series throughout my whole career. I made, I know I'm jumping ahead here a lot, but I made like 6 of the Cup Series starts, the highest level starts. Yeah, but I never ran that full time, and it wasn't really my goal, to be honest with you. I loved Saturdays. I loved being home, you know, with my family and friends on Sunday and having a day off and the pressure. I didn't grow up wanting to be a NASCAR driver. So I was like, man, you can make a good living, race on Saturday, not that much pressure. I was like, that was my home,
That's
you know?
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. How many races, talking about that? So in the when you were doing the developmental series and then you got into Xfinity, how many races a year does that, like, what does that look like? Tell people who are listening what that
Yeah, the
job, because it
life
is
of
a
a race
job.
car driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, what does that job look like?
It looks a lot different today than it did when I was, but when I was, there was about 12 races a year in the development series. And then when I got into the Xfinity series, there was 36 races a year. So it's
Wow. Okay.
36 weekends that you're gone Thursday through Saturday. So it's a long season and there's testing involved. And then during the week, you're on a
You're
simulator,
training.
train. Yeah, I had a full on, in my last 2 years, I had a full on nutritionist and trainer. And I would go to Chevy's technology center and run their simulator all week and then fly the track. It's a full-time job and a lot of work. Um, I almost say like, well, it's not as hard as selling filters, but actually it is. It's like, it is a grind, man. It is a grind. The pressure, the criticism, the
The losing, you
you
lose
always
races and
lose.
and you feel like, why? Yeah.
Yeah, people out. When are you gonna win? When are you gonna win? Well, like I don't know. It's not that easy, you know.
Yeah.
It's only
The other
one
Do you
guys
wanna
out here
winner.
drive?
want to win
Do
too.
you wanna drive? Get in the seat, you drive, and how about you win? How about that?
Yeah.
That's whenever we go to football games or hockey games, and I see people in the crowd yelling and making comments, I'm never that person.
Hmm.
Because you know what, dude? How about you get on the ice? How
Yeah.
about you put on some skates?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about you do that?
Yeah.
Let's see how you're gonna do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a grind, man. It was a great chapter of my life. Now my son is racing. He wants to be a NASCAR driver. We did 3 races with him this year in Charlotte at the Speedway. So that's been really
How
fun to
old
see.
is he?
He's 13. He just turned 13.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's really
he's
cool.
way better than I was. I know a lot of dads would say that, but he's raced 4 times and he's won 3 of them. So
Wow.
he's legit. Yeah.
That's
When are we
really
gonna get out on
cool.
the track? So if I want to come out and watch a race and get in the pits and I mean, do we have access to that or
Yeah,
what?
yeah, let me know.
Where is it? Is it in Charlotte or anywhere in America, or do you guys travel every week or?
Anywhere. I mean, I don't know how far you are from Phoenix, but Avondale, Arizona, there's a NASCAR track.
Yeah,
Dallas.
Phoenix International Raceway
Yeah.
out there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I've actually seen that's the only NASCAR event that I've been to in person was out there.
Okay.
And I mean it was unbelievable. I mean we had really good seats. We were right there and that power as they go around and they make that turn and they're gassing up, for the straightaway. I mean, the seats rumbled as they're
Yeah.
going by.
Yeah.
No
You
way.
feel it. And I had to put I brought my boys, they were younger. This was 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was. And I wasn't not prepared for that. And I see these parents with headphones on the kids. I'm like, that seems excessive. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm running out to the thing to buy shit to put in their ears. And yeah, it was it's so incredible. The feeling. So okay, this is off topic real quick, and then we can get back. But it's on topic, but odd. How do you feel about electric vehicles? I mean, you drive NASCAR, you're a gas car, that smell, that feel, that sound. Are you sad that we're seeing that go away probably, in our lifetime, or we're not going to see gas racing, it's going to be electric, or what do you think about that?
To me, it doesn't really matter about like watching racing because I love racing regardless. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's go-karts, Indy cars, I mean, I just like racing, right? As far as like electric cars in general, I don't have one and I don't think I'll ever have one. And it's,
Okay.
There's your answer, Phil. There's
yeah,
your
I mean,
Yeah.
answer.
and it's,
I don't think I'll ever have
I
one.
just
Yeah.
don't
See
like the
the
fact
way he
that
dragged it on.
like I am pretty impulsive. And if I want to go somewhere and I have like, I don't want to have to wait to charge it. I
Yes.
want to be
Like,
ready to go with
oh,
some
I
gas.
forgot to charge my car.
Yeah,
Oops.
or
Yeah. Like,
have to
no, I'm not going to sit
stop and
there.
like char like no,
Yep.
Nah,
not
the
gonna
whole
happen.
concept. Yeah, nah, the whole concept. You know what, dude? If it's not broken, don't fix it. We've had cars since Henry Ford came in and revolutionized the industry. We're very happy with it. It's been working really well, and I think over the past century, we've come a very long way with vehicles. And look, electric cars. I mean, for Uber drivers and someone within a city who's prepared to be organized and charge and all that good stuff,
Yeah.
no worries. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not hell. I am V8 twin turbo supercharged all day every day. Give us 1,000 horsepower. Let's put the foot on the gas and let's get out of here. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I drive 2 different cars. I have a diesel and then I have a car. And they're both gas.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
There you go.
nice,
Big diesel truck.
nice.
But what it's funny about electric stuff because I remember probably 6 years ago, I would see people in my neighborhood with like electric weed eaters and stuff. And I'm
Yes.
like, I'm gonna have a
Yeah.
gas eater, but guess what? Now I have an
Mhm.
electric weed eater. It's
I
so
mean, for
nice.
ease of use,
It's
tools,
so
all that,
nice.
hell yeah. I
Yeah.
just like to Patrick's point and your point. I have a Ram TRX,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
725 horsepower,
Yep.
supercharged. When I start that, it lets me know it's ready to go.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
I have the remote start and I wait to hear it from inside my house when I start it because I can hear that engine. I'm like, yep, it's time to get the day started. And I'll never not want that.
Yeah, I know. I've been looking at the Raptor R and that TRX. I want one of those cars. 750 horsepower.
The the
Insane.
TRX is the TRX is the
It's
fastest.
fastest. They called it the Raptor.
It's
Like
the fastest.
the
The
Raptor
Raptor killer.
Raptor killer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
So
fastest.
in the
It
car
does it.
too, when I first got mine, somebody told me that. I'm like, what? And because I didn't care, I went and looked at the Raptors first. And I was going to buy a Raptor in all fairness, and then I went to this one dealership and they had this brand new TRX that had like 2,000 miles on it. The owner of the dealership had driven it, and he'd done a bunch of stuff to it. And I'm like, that car just looks sexy. It just felt beefier.
Yeah.
And so I went with the Ram. And that Raptor R though, they're now really close. This year, in the last couple of years, that Raptor R has closed the gap because I think it's 700 horsepower and the TRX is 725.
Hmm.
And I almost did this, but I don't need 1,000 horsepower every day. You can send the the TRX off to this place called Hennessy in Texas, and they will upgrade the engine to this thing they call the Mammoth, and they bring it up to 1,000 horsepower.
Jeez.
And it's still covered under the Mopar warranty. It's the only place that you can have work done
No
to that
way.
car. Yeah, Mopar covers it as part of factory warranty. And just considers it's an upgrade to its Hellcat engine. So yeah, my truck can be 1,000 plus horsepower in like a month if I send it off there. I'm like, I was gonna do it. I'm glad my ego wanted
Do
me
it,
to
Phil.
do it.
Phil, do it, brother.
I
Hey,
know.
Phil.
I drive it
seriously?
every day though. I do not need
It's-
1,000 horsepower.
No,
You know,
but
right
if
now it
you
gets
do,
8 miles to the gallon.
no,
and I bet you that's 4.
bro, drive your Bronco for 30 days. Send your Hellcat over here. I'm in Texas. I'll take care
I
of it. I'll
know.
drop it off for you. You drive your Bronco, and bro, let me drive it back to Phoenix.
See, you're like that little money spender friend on my shoulder because I just want to buy a new one. I might just buy a new one, send this one off to make it 1,000, then I'll drive the new one, and then when I really need to get after it, I'll go after this one. So, yeah.
Yeah. I
Right now,
love
my
it.
wife's
That's-
listening, probably going, "F that, buddy. We're not buying another truck."
Yeah,
So,
so I
with
agree with
that- with-
Patrick. If you might not need 1,000 horsepower, but if you ever did, it's there and
Yeah, that's
available.
right. I have the same philosophy with guns. I don't always need it, but I always have one on me. Yeah.
Oh man, the other day we're in Phil's car. We went to have lunch somewhere, and I said, "Phil, I need some cologne, brother. You got some cologne?" He's like, "Yeah, in the middle compartment." So I open his compartment. I'm going through, and there's an M&P shield, and I'm moving his gun around. I'm like, "Yeah, bro. Like, you want to let me know that there's a gun?" He's like, "Yeah, well, don't touch it." And I'm like, "All right."
He
Waving
picks
his
it up
camera.
and he had trigger control, so he didn't have his finger on the trigger. He had his hand straight because I saw it as it comes out. I'm like, oh shit. And we had his partner in the back seat fast. And he was sitting on the right side of me, so he's left-handed. So he's pulling it out like this. He goes, "Hey, Fast, look! And Phil has a gun in the car." And he didn't point the barrel at him, but I'm like, "Whoa, Tiger! Let's not be pointing the gun at Fast unless you have a big insurance policy on him or something."
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
That
It's-
was
it's a-
we're definitely trained. I know I'm Australian, right? And we don't have guns in Australia, but I'm in Texas for the past 5 years and got a license to carry. I know exactly how to hold guns.
It's a different world in a good way, right? Can you not
Yeah.
carry in Australia? Can you open carry?
With all due respect, Phil, that's a very, very shit question.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Australia, there's no guns, bro.
None.
What?
There is, but you got to jump through hoops to get them. So
It's like California.
so
Yeah.
no, it's not like California.
I was in
California's
London
heaven
this
compared to
summer, and there's
Australia.
no guns there either.
Yeah, I
There's
knew
there.
that.
So you've got like rifles in Australia, but it takes like 3 years to get approved for a license, and then another couple months to get approved for a gun, and it's a shit show. So there's no guns anyway. And if you're ever affiliated with a gang or anything like that, then and if you do have guns, like registered with the government, they come and they clear you up.
Wow. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yep. But anyway,
You
so
learn something new every day.
yep. So yeah. For my birthday, I bought a Mossberg, which I've always wanted a pump action shotgun. Anyway, so I got myself a pump action and I come home and my mum's in the kitchen. And my parents moved to Australia in 1966. So they only know Australian way of life. So she's in the kitchen and my dad's watching TV. And then I got my gun out and I said, "Hey, Mum, Dad, look at my birthday
Look at
gift." And in the kitchen,
Got shitter pants, probably.
my mom was like, she starts yelling my dad's name, "Control your son." Yeah, it was
Oh
on.
my
Yeah,
God.
it was a big party.
That's funny.
That's a different world.
Okay. We've got a NASCAR experience, right? We've got 9 years of NASCARs, and then all of a sudden we've got FilterTime. Now, I'm assuming that you were running FilterTime in parallel with your NASCAR experience. Is that correct?
Nope.
No.
No.
Okay, great. Because then the reason why I said that was because I've seen FilterTime sponsor, I think it's your son's car then.
Yep. We've sponsored a few
Okay,
cars.
got it.
So
Okay.
I was not ready to retire or stop, but normally in NASCAR and motorsports, you find out around August or September if you are renewed for the following year to have a job. So you have months and months to get lined back up with another team. I was signed. I got a call on January 9th, like 5 weeks before Daytona, from my team owner that I was not going to be their driver again. And it was a shock to me and my family. We already had the Christmas party, and like, what are you going to do, right? It was a business decision. So, and it was too late. There's no seats available. It was like I had to sit out for a year. And that was the plan. I was gonna sit out for a year, and I didn't like the situation I was in because my income stopped. I had no other businesses. I had no other source of income. I have 2 kids, house, wife, like a lot of responsibilities. And I was like, I have 0 income. Like that's not a
Yeah,
great
the
feeling.
spigot gets turned off. No good.
Bad, right? So I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? If I had spent the last 5 years promoting and building my own company as hard as I was, all these other companies, like my team, my sponsors, and all the work I did for them, I was like, I'd be in a much better position right now. What if I need to start a business that I can promote and build like I did for all my partners, and I'll be in much better shape. So that's what I did. I was like,
Right.
January, I pouted for a couple days because I like I'm not an astronaut, did me wrong,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But like I think I pouted for 24 hours, and it was like, all right, let's go to work. And I got a notebook. I even have the notebook right here on my desk. I like to look at it. And I started writing down business ideas every day. And I went to like weird business ideas, right? Like I wanted to wrap garage doors to match the house so they look good. Like just a bunch of different
Yeah.
business ideas. And I went to Lowe's to go buy filters because I have bad allergies and I'm allergic to the cats and dogs that we have. And I went to Lowe's and I bought all this stuff and I got home and I was like, dang it, I forgot the filters. The whole reason I went to Lowe's was to get filters. I didn't even get the filters. I was like, man, filters are such a pain. Like you have to remember your size, look through your phone. When did you change it last? How many do you have? What did I get last time? 1500, 2000
Exactly.
MPH, all these options. I was like, this is a terrible system for homeowners. It'd be so much easier if like just the filter you needed showed up at your doorstep when it's time to change it. And I was like, man, I could do something like that. Like, I'm gonna write down. I wrote down filter auto ship that night. And the next day, I called my like buddies, call 'em group of advisors, right? It's like, what do you guys think about this business? They're like, that's awesome. We would sign up, do it. And 10 out of 10 people were like, you should do this. And I just was thinking of a name. And in the middle of the night, I thought of filter time and woke up and designed this little logo with a paintbrush thing on Illustrator with the swoops on the F. And I was like, all right, I'm in. And I bought the domain, started researching. And I don't think I slept for a couple days. Started researching where to buy filters, how do you ship them, how do you open a FedEx account, how do you build a website, how do you accept payments, how where do you order boxes from? Like I've never done a business in my life,
Wow.
right? And then about 2 months in, I have my website. Like I tried to build my own. I was like, no, I need to spend the money. Then I spend the money and I started having these doubts. I was like, what's gonna make people feel comfortable buying filters from me and not everybody else? And I was like, man, if I could get like a celebrity on the website or a face that people trusted to put their credit card online, I could crush this. And I was like, if I could get Dale Earnhardt Jr., the most popular guy in motorsports and in a household name holding a box of filters, I could crush this thing. That's what I thought to myself. And then just like in NASCAR, I'm not afraid to call. If I have good intentions and I really believe in it, I'm never afraid to ask. So I got his number and I called him. I was like, hey, Dale, I decided to stop racing, put all my time and energy into this business, and I'd love to meet with you about it. I have some ideas. And he's like, come on, let's go. We met on Monday. I pitched it to him because I'm in. And we formed a partnership right off the bat. So I call him co-founder because he's been with me from the very, very beginning. Even though we didn't announce his partnership for
Wow.
about a year and a half in because we knew we couldn't handle the volume right away.
Did he invest in
Yeah,
your company
I mean,
or?
just a very whatever I needed, right? When you're,
Yep.
it's my
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
business. If I could do it over again, I would change some things. Like we
Right.
put in the minimum amount of money. I think we put in enough money to build a website, buy 1,000 boxes and some air filters. And then we just
That's
Wow.
reinvested all the
amazing.
profits for years and had no outside investment, no debt. He never had to put another dime in after. And we've just built this thing and it was all direct to consumer at first. Just home air filter subscriptions for homeowners for probably 2 years. That was the only thing we did. I was actually turning away property management companies. It's just funny. They call me and be like, no,
Wow.
that's really not something we do. I didn't even know what a property management
No,
company
why would I
was.
want to give you? Why would I want $1 million? Yeah,
I
take
didn't
that
even know that
business. Take it.
existed. Like the general
Yeah.
public doesn't realize. I mean, I didn't realize there's management companies that manage thousands of homes. I always thought it was just like one person owned a house and rented it out. I didn't know the industry or anything about it.
Yeah, that's
So Phil,
so. Was
I
there
don't know
a
if you,
filter? So I'm sorry, Pat. Just real quick.
you good, bro?
When you started this in 2018, is that the time frame somewhere in there? Um, was there anyone doing this, or did you like? You're
Yeah,
the only person.
it was an original thought for me. I never heard about it, but then when I did my research, I saw there was a company called Filter Easy that was already doing it, which is the same company as Second Nature, right? So Filter Easy started doing the same thing I started doing, direct consumer home air filter
Gotcha.
subscriptions. And I actually called them. I was like, man, there's already somebody doing it. I'm gonna call them and see if they would want to partner and I can get them into NASCAR and I can help them build their brand because I thought it was a good idea and I still wanted to race. So I actually called them and I was like, "Hey, Blake Koch, NASCAR driver, would love to talk to you guys." And I never got a call back. And
What?
yeah, never got a call back.
Wow.
And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna do it myself." And did it
Good for
myself.
you.
Yeah. Yep. So
How
yeah, they're
interesting is that moment, right? Because who knows what would have happened had they called you back, whether it's good or not. Who
yeah,
knows? You can't tell. I can
yeah,
tell you your energy, who you are as a person, how you're showing up. You're an
100%.
entrepreneur and you're an owner, and having partners, not that Dale's not a good partner. That he's not really a partner because he's not trying to run the business.
yeah.
Um, I could just see you not being as happy as you are right now had they picked up that phone and called you.
I agree. I agree.
This
It's
is your baby. This is
yeah,
your car.
yeah, it's my baby.
Everything happens for a reason,
It
dude. I
does.
mean,
Yeah.
the fact that it's your first business and you had the awareness to do what you did, bro. I
That's
had
really
5
cool.
businesses fail before my 6th one. I'm on my 7th right now.
Yeah. I
You
think
know what I
I
mean?
think that's the stats are more in that direction.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. I'm one of the stats. I'm a contribution to it. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
appreciate it.
see
It's
this
been
this
fun.
bald head, the hair dropped pretty quick. Per
That's
business.
that's the
Hair
first
was
6
losing. Hair
businesses
was
right
losing.
there. That's the first 6 businesses right there. Number 7 helped him grow the beard though. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
that's
So
that's
keep keep
crazy.
keep going. Like, this is such a cool story.
Yeah, so man, looking back now, there's so many critical moments that is the reason why I'm still in business. There, it got v- very overwhelming and doubtful when you're looking at these FedEx rates and USPS rates and how much they want to charge you to ship filters. I'm like, why? I can't like, and they'll never tell you what it could be with volume either, right?
Yeah.
But I was always like, well, if other people are doing it, like it could be done, right? So I just did it. And when you're talking about filters, I had a hard time finding somebody to actually sell me filters and take me serious. I was going to buy them, put them in my garage, and me and my wife were going to fulfill them out of our bonus room. And then I had this another doubtful moment in my car when I pulled up to this building, and I was like, man, this is gonna suck. I don't feel like boxing filters at night and putting labels on them, running the put like I'm good at sales and promotion and marketing. Like, what am I doing? Right.
Yeah.
That day, I got a call from a local manufacturer that I put a call into, and one of the employees told me that that's not something they do. Well, the owner called me back. He goes, "Hey, Blake, like I know what you're trying to do. I think it's a great idea, and we'll help you with this. We'll actually even do all your fulfillment. Not only will we make your filters and sell them to you, but we'll put them in the box, package them, and ship them out right for you." And I was like,
That's
"No
huge.
way! That is what I need because then I could just sell, 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 build, promote." And that was a very very critical moment and now and we still are partners with that company today. In fact, I we became like their fourth largest customer now, and they took a chance on me where the owner was like, I was paying them like $500 a month for a while.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Wow. This is a really, really cool story because there's a lot of nuance to it, right? But everything you're saying was about, and this is what I'm gleaning from it, is you believed in you and you believed in what you were doing. And that's why everything was moving forward.
Yeah.
There's challenges and stuff along the way, but you never stopped believing in why you were doing it. The why of who you are is why you're successful. And you can tell in your personality, you actually care about this thing that you created.
hmm Yeah. I analyze things sometimes to a fault, right? But like I feel like I could put this picture together and build this race car, right? And then go take it to the track and try to win with it. And yeah, I guess just a determination and knowing that I've always really believed like if you're honest and you have good intentions and you have a good product and you care about people, like you will succeed. Like it will work, you know? So
Tell us how that conversation went with your wife those first 2 sleepless nights when you're dreaming of Filter Time and you create your little logo and you go, "Babe, I know I'm not a NASCAR driver anymore. I mean, bad news. Good news
Yeah.
is I'm the filter king of Chicago now. Like this is going
uh,
to be amazing."
Wait,
Like
Chicago or Charlotte?
I'm teasing. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
Chicago.
Oh,
stealing a Ferris Bueller Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the Sausage King of Chicago. Um, tell me that conversation because
yeah.
I
Was
bet there's
she
some.
supportive from the beginning? Did you have resistance? Did you think you were crazy? Because that's usually the case.
So you got to remember my wife, well, you don't remember this, I didn't tell you, but my wife and I were together before I was a NASCAR driver. So she saw me being like, I want to be a NASCAR driver with no racing
Yeah,
experience and no connection and no family ties. And like, you just go do it, right? You just go get it done. And so she's always supported anything I've ever wanted to do and no doubts. Even to this day, I'm always like, oh, what if this happens, that, and we need to save this much money, blah, blah, blah. Just life, right? She's always like, babe, you'll
yeah,
always figure it out. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're
yeah.
kind of right.
You're right.
Yeah. So she was very
That
supportive and she thought it was a great idea. Yeah.
that's really cool.
When my wife says to me, I give her a story like that, and she turns around and says, "Oh, babe, it's you. You're gonna figure it out." I turn around and I'm like, it's funny as a male, that's all we need to hear from the one person that we love.
Yeah.
That's enough juice for us
Yep,
to figure it out.
Yeah.
We
you
can
got
figure it out,
this. Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe in
but
you.
it's that attaboy, that you got this, that you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
little shoulder tap. It just goes a long way from that one person you love.
Yeah. That's all you need.
So, so Pat, knowing that when you went to Kiara and told her you wanted to be a ballerina, why didn't you go forward with it? Because I'm sure she supported you.
Yeah. So the reason why was I went to the qualifications, and till today I think it's absolutely bullshit
Ballerina
that they didn't
qualifications.
approve me.
Yeah,
They didn't
yeah.
approve me. What is it? Tryouts. I
There
went
it
to
is. There it
tryouts.
is. Yes, which is commonly misunderstood for the ballerina qualifications. Yes, very well done.
Qualifications.
Yes,
Oh, oh my
showed up.
God.
Hello, do I qualify to be a ballerina?
Yeah, your beard is perfect. Come
Oh,
on
I'd look
in.
good. I'd look good in those tights. Trust me.
I've seen you
Trust me.
tippy toe, big boy. I've seen
That's
you tippy
right.
toe.
That's how we do.
That's
Okay,
crazy.
so Filter Time is 7, 8 years old now. What you don't have to go all the way through the journey, but you have startup, you have that excitement, and then you hit the middle, like the monotony of a business, right? Like
Mhm.
now the business is running. Tell us about that period, and then what you did to keep pushing forward to keep that not get stuck in that monotony, right?
Yeah, I was actually pretty hard-headed about, like, my vision of, like, "No, it's home air filter subscription, stay focused. There's plenty of homeowners out there that need filters. That's my lane, and I'm gonna stay in it." But then again, on the flip side, I've always loved having multiple buckets in business or, like, revenue, right? Like, different revenue buckets. So where, like, if one goes missing, you still have the others. It just felt
Yeah.
like
Yep.
the right thing to do is have different areas of sales in the business. Like Filter Time has so many different verticals. We have a filter for motorhomes, travel trailers, and RVs that we developed that like I made, and we're in every camping world in the country. And the top seller on
No
Amazon.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
way.
Yeah. Filter Time is the top selling RV filter on Amazon and in every single camping world in the United States. Yeah. So like that was a cool little thing. I did that.
Well, have you met Marcus
I
Lemonis? Do you know
have. I
him?
knew him from NASCAR. So it was kind of an
No
in.
way.
Yeah.
What was his affiliation with NASCAR?
Well, they sponsored the series, the NASCAR Camping World Series.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
That's awesome.
So I got his
That's
email and I
awesome.
emailed him and I told my idea. He goes, "Love it. Develop the product and I'll give you a PO." And we used all the materials and got all these samples and did airflow testing because this was during COVID when like I got a camper and we were traveling with my family and I'm like, that filter in there isn't doing anything. There's gotta be like a good filter.
Yeah.
And we just made the filter. it was a really fun
Oh, that's
experience. So
so
like,
That's a
cool.
success story, bro.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is revolutionizing the industry. I admire that so much.
Yeah, so like
Far
that's the
out.
small side of our business, and then we have we service HVAC companies where they come by our shop and pick up filters to take to homeowners. We have hospitals as customers. We're selling HEPA filters and all these filters that they have, and of course property management. Property management is the fastest growing side of our entire business. It's been great. I love it, and and I did put it off for a while just because, like I said, it wasn't my vision. But after you get hit in the head with it a few times, you're like, maybe I
Yeah.
should consider this. So a good friend of mine at the time was working for Tricon American Homes, and he's like, man, if this is what would be important, just kind of help me understand the whole space in the business and what people would want from a filter program. And we just built a platform where you can, load your addresses, choose your sizes, choose your schedule, and we just charge by the shipment. It's not like, I don't have to get into all that, but like we just made it simple and
Yeah.
and developed that, and then we just started signing on new customers. We had no outbound sales strategy. We don't have sales teams, anything. And I went to a NARPM event April of 2024 was our first time going to an event. And when we got there, I was like, you know, everybody's like, "Oh, you're here. Wow, Second Nature as a competitor and all this stuff." I was like, I don't feel like I'm a competitor. Like, we're just here because I have some customers and I see the opportunity. And it was just like we started hearing people tell us how happy they were to see us there. They're like so happy to see Filter Time at this place. And I was like, man, this just feels
That's
right.
awesome.
This feels like we need to take this serious. We need to invest in this industry. We need to make it better. And we need to continue to learn and improve. So April 2024 is when I was like, all right, let's go. Crystal, you guys know Crystal. She was in charge of my D2C side. And I put Crystal completely to property management. So Crystal just
Wow.
runs our entire property management program now. And now we have our first sales reps on board now. And we have someone doing our CRM, so we're building a small little team, but still with the focus like we talked about, Patrick. Like, we're a filter company, we make filters, we ship filters, so we're always improving our process of manufacturing. Like, we're not like a software company. We have like 100,000 square foot building with a ton of people making filters and packing them. So we have to pay a
Wow.
lot of attention to that side of our business. Yeah.
That's really cool. Like, and to the point of second nature, I come from contracting and as a flooring contractor, and there's a million of us, right? There's always enough room for someone that's talented, a company that solves a problem. Whether the filter really isn't the problem, filter wasn't the thing. It was how you show up, how you deliver it,
Yeah.
how you're dealing with the customer, all of that stuff. That's really probably what makes you so successful, because anyone can deliver a filter.
Yeah.
The rest of it is how you show up and your people show up and the connection to the customer that cares about that aspect of it. And yeah, there's plenty of work. There's enough
Yeah.
business for multiple filter times, whether you want that or not.
Yep.
There is room. And I love that the market said to you, welcome, thanks for
Yeah.
being here.
Yeah. It was.
Versus, oh, these guys, these are the only guys that are doing it. You can't come in and play. No. We're all going to play this game.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a really, really good feeling. And the NARPM community welcomed us with, arms open. And that was awesome. And when we're looking at our show schedule this year, like, I want to go to the NARPM events because, like, they're just really good people. I love them, meeting some good friends, and it's been fun. But like you said, Dale, my partner Dale Jr. told me that if we listen to our customer and take care of our customer and keep trying to get better and better and better, we will win. And like,
That's it.
that's really all we
Yep.
do, right? In every area of our business.
That's
So it's
incredible,
pretty good
dude.
advice
I
from
love
Dale.
that.
Yeah.
I
Right.
love that.
Yeah.
That's
Just stay
so
so
interesting.
customer focused. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just on what the customer. At the end of the day, the customer's going to pay us, right?
Mhm.
So however we can best serve the person that pays, the goal is to get them to keep paying.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Keep the machine running, bro.
Yeah.
It ain't hard.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
And how
we
you
sell
show
air
up matters to
filters.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
Yeah.
you really don't. You're selling a distribution model that makes their life easier. I use that
Mhm.
term in everything I do. If I don't make your life easier, there's no reason to work with me, because there's 100 other flooring contractors, in my case now with Property Masters, a general contractor, there's 100 contractors out there that can do the work that we do. Maybe not as good as us. I think we're better, but they can do it. It's how we show up. It's how we react to problems. And if I'm not doing something that makes your life easier or better, please go pick somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think in your company and your ethos, like what I'm gleaning from talking to you is that's your entire way of thinking. You know, you're going to make this as good as possible and as good of it as an experience as possible for the person that's counting on you.
Yeah. Yeah. We do that for sure. Like even company wide, if a filter is damaged in transit, if they ordered the wrong one, if we sent the wrong one, like we don't need to see proof. Don't send it back. Throw it away, recycle it, give it away. We'll send you a new one.
Yeah.
Like as easy and
Trust.
hassle free as it can be. That's what we do.
I got a question.
Mhm.
Let's say I've got a $1,000 portfolio and I would like to sign up for FilterTime, but I don't know any of the sizes in my houses. What are you guys going to do?
That would be a Crystal question for one. I think Crystal has kind of a bullet points on how we recommend helping them get it, but we don't have a solution. It's been on the whiteboard for a while, and I have no idea how to solve that problem. Maybe you do. Maybe you have ideas, but I think
Is
it's
it
just like
AI?
No, it's been on my
video
mind.
into AI?
No, because I've been facing this issue. So Phil, I don't know if you know this, but Blake's actually our fulfillment provider on the RVP for filters.
I figured.
So
yeah.
we came across this issue a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh shit. All right, how are we gonna do this? And I thought about, is it possible for us to send someone into every property to actually go ahead and do it?
It's
But
not
that's
cost
like-
effective.
yeah.
It's not cost effective at all, right? Like, how do we? It's going to have to be some form of we got to incentivize the resident $100 gift card or a $50 gift card
Send
or
a picture
something.
of the filter. Yeah.
Send
So
a picture
also,
of what you
too,
got.
We use companies like Company Cam, and I think Seek Now does this. There's other companies like that use LiDAR, and they scan these homes, right? And they're scanning them for appliances so they can get warranty information. So this LiDAR will scan the entire room and top to bottom, every square foot. And you might want to partner with some of those guys to say, hey, if they've got a database of these homes, because it'll pick up that filter, at least the whatever you call it,
The return.
the grate or the grill.
Yeah.
That probably can give you a pretty good indication what your filter size is if you've got those just scanned. They might be able to just type something into their little data set and say, oh yeah, here's all the filter sizes for these 10,000 homes.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, so
If not, I'm going to
currently-
start a company that does that and charge you guys a ton of money to tell you what that is.
Let's do. I'll pay it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Let's do it. Yeah, no easy solution to that, Patrick. But like I said, we're pretty new to this industry and solving these problems and hearing about these problems. So we want to figure it out. We want to make it better. But I think we're just a lot of them actually have had their filter sizes for us. Like the customers that we have already have a spreadsheet with their filter sizes because some of them actually had a program before and they're switching to us.
Yeah. Got it. All right. Well, look, I'm sure that as we grow together, we're going to come across some opportunities for us to overcome. And it's such a pleasure and honor to work alongside someone like you, knowing your detailed history and who you are as a person. And you wake up and want to become a race car driver, and then you actually become it. And then you wake up and want to launch a filter business, and you actually are one of the leaders in the space. So, dude, I have nothing but credibility and respect. And for you, it was a pleasure to have you on this show. Thank you so much for giving us your time today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of Between Two Hats with your hosts, Patrick Osman and Philip Burton. Today, we're blessed with Blake Koch. Is that right?
Yep, Blake Koch. Yep.
Okay, I said Blake Koch before, so forgive me.
Not the first time.
Yeah. So, look, it was a pleasure to have you on, brother, and looking forward to more detailed conversations.
Thank you guys so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you.